going to do is draw a baseline. Growing back your eyebrows, obviously the top line is always going to be fine because you shouldn't really be plucking up there unless you have loads of, or a few little strays, and that's fine, but as long as it doesn't actually affect the outline. So really the only thing you have to be worrying about here outline wise is the underside and maybe the very end of the top. Like naturally I have kind of an uneven line there, so start off with a kind of a medium. If you have dark eyebrows, go with more of a medium pencil. If you have lighter eyebrows, go with quite a light pencil. You just want something that will help create that baseline. And I'm only going to start from about here, which is about maybe a third of the way in, because naturally the hairs, say from about here onwards, they've grown sideways, so they're going to create that kind of natural more graphic line look. And here they grow up, so you don't have naturally like as strong as a line there. So I want it to look as natural, even though it's going to be filled in, but as natural as possible. So first of all, I'm just going to lightly draw out the baseline. As with eyeliner and everything else, it's better just to do this in small strokes and not just one big long line, because it's impossible, near impossible to get a perfect long line. So I want to be at the base of all the hairs. I don't want any hairs popping out underneath this line. If they were, I'd remove them. It's good to use a soft pencil for this as well, as you know, it's easier to kind of wipe away if you make a mistake. So once I get to the end, I'm just going to extend it out a bit. Just like that. And if there's any like big gaps in, now you can see here it's pretty evened out, all the gaps. It's just that it's a little bit sparse and the hairs aren't in their full length yet. But say here there's a bit more of a gap, so I'm just going to lightly brush that in. I often have to lower my eyebrow as well, just to try and get another perspective to make sure it's even. Next, get like a light to medium brow powder. Again, if your eyebrows are very dark, still only go for like a medium-ish dark brown. Don't go for very, very dark or black shadows, as this will just make the look way too harsh. So I'm just going to get an angled brush, just any little angled brush. This is just a Ruby and Millie one. I like to use synthetic hairs just for this because it kind of pushes the product into the hairs a bit better. And then just start running the brown through the brows. The colour I'm using is this one I've used before. It's just a light brown colour from an eyebrow kit from Penneys or Primark if you're in the UK. So the line that I initially drew, it doesn't really stand out. It doesn't look like there's a completely separate line there. But it still gives me that really defined shape. And then for this inner part, just apply some of that powder and brush it up into the hairs. And you can create your own little baseline there with the powder, but it's going to be a lot softer and just not as harsh as the rest of the brows. So you can see the difference now there between the brows. I mean, it's completely better for this kind of makeup, definitely, when it's more filled in. So for any other little sparse areas that are left, I'm just going into the darker brown and then just push that into, it's mainly this outer half. Just lightly run a little bit of the darker brown. I didn't put the darker brown on the whole eyebrow because I didn't want it to be all that dark all the way through. And just use the darker brown to fill in any just sparse bits. You can just use your finger to clean away anything you want to clean away. If you want, you can brush down this top line and just fill in at the very top here. And just give it a bit of a shape. Brush the hairs back up just to make it more natural looking. And then just to set the hairs in place, you can use either a wax or a gel. I just use a cheap clear mascara, to be honest. I find it works just as well. This one's from Collection 2000. It's pretty old, so it's kind of dirty looking, but I only use it on myself. It doesn't actually go near my eyes. And then just brush the hairs up. And then in the centre, kind of brush them over so they'll cover any sparse areas. But always keep them above that baseline. And then brush them down and over at the end. And that's them filled in. If you want, you can just brush it up a little bit more here in the centre. So I just wanted to show you the difference now. I mean, I really quite like the look of a bare brow just groomed with a spoolie or whatever when it's with heavy eye makeup, but not when it's sparse and not grown in fully. In another few weeks when this is fully grown in, I probably will leave them like this a bit more often for more dramatic looks, but for the time being I'm filling them in until they are grown back, and I'm happy enough with them for the time being. So yeah, that's the difference between them. So obviously just go ahead, do the other eyebrow, and that's it done. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.